In this video, we are going to talk about everything that you need to know in 2019 to execute a successful Instagram marketing strategy. I'm Meredith and I love to talk about marketing plans for small businesses. Now let's dive into Instagram, one of my favorite subjects. If you own a small business and you're interested in using Instagram to grow your marketing efforts and gain customers, then this video is for you. Even if you're considering outsourcing your social media and hiring someone to do it for you, I really want you to learn what works now in 2019 and the strategy that you should use just to make you dangerous enough so that you can measure success of the strategy that you adopt. And if you aren't going to hire anybody, then this video is definitely for you because I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do now in 2019 to grow your followers and then get more customers. Now listen, I've had quite a few of you tell me that you listen to my videos, thank you so much, in your car and you're not actually watching. So hey, don't worry, I'm about to give you a great Instagram strategy and I'm gonna link it below. So just tap on the link and you can grab Meredith Gallagher's Instagram marketing strategy for 2019. Got it? Okay, just sit back and listen. So listen, but stay tuned to the end because at the end, I'm gonna share my 2 favorite Instagram strategy techniques that we've adopted in 2019 that are really working great over here at Team TSG Miami and Team Meredith Gallagher. Ooh, I can't wait to share them with you, so stay tuned to the end. I'm gonna start with 3 facts or principles about Instagram in 2019 that everybody needs to know before they implement a marketing strategy, and then we're gonna go over the 12 steps or rules that I think you should implement to have an awesome Instagram marketing strategy right now. First, let's talk about those principles. The first of 3 that I want to go over is the algorithm, the Instagram algorithm. You know this, right? You're going to hear people quote you that this is what the algorithm is, and because of the algorithm, you should do X, Y, Z. But nobody but Instagram knows exactly how the algorithm works. They just release these statements and then a bunch of experts go and they analyze and they try to guess what it means. Let me tell you what Instagram says and then what the general consensus is of what it means. They say that their algorithm shows posts and information to users, that would be all the followers, that is interesting and relevant to them, all right? So then we have to interpret it. What does that mean? The experts agree that for sure what that means is Instagram does not show your post to all of the people that are following you. And it seems like they might show it to 5% of one person's followers. They might show his post, but they might show it to 35% of someone else's followers, right? So what's the difference? How do they pick how many of your followers they show it to? Well, all the talking head experts agree that what they meant was that if your post is liked and commented on, then your followers are saying, hey, this post is interesting and valuable to me. Again, Instagram didn't come up with this number, but the experts say within the first hour, when you post your post, that the more likes and comments you get within that hour, that will determine how many followers that the algorithm allows to see your Instagram post. You got me? So the experts agree that that first hour after you post on your feed is the most important. The second thing that I want you to understand is followers versus customers. If your goal is to get more money and to create more business for yourself, then you need paying customers, correct? And so there is a difference between the number of followers that you have on Instagram and the number of paying customers that are following you on Instagram. You can see that difference, right? I would guess that 10 customers that do $200 worth of business with you are way more valuable than 1,000 followers that pay you 0, right? That has to be true for everybody. So if that's true, then the point is not only just to increase your followers, the point is to get more customers. And how do we get more customers? Well, again, the experts agree, and I've seen it to prove true, that when we can engage our followers and get them interested in us, then they are more likely and that will lead to customers. Goal for a successful Instagram marketing strategy would be to increase your number of followers that are engaged with you, okay? And the third thing that leads to is we're not gonna worry about people that unfollow us. There is a game that people play of follow and unfollow, and it can make you crazy if you start to count how many people are unfollowing you versus following you. There's robots that are following and unfollowing all day long. I just want you to remember, this is what I want you to say to yourself. If you start to see that people are unfollowing you, that it was, thank God they left. Bye-bye. Good to see you go. You know why? It actually screws up your logarithm. If they are unfollowing you, they were never gonna do business with you anyway, so we need them to go, and it's especially important that they go because Instagram is only showing your post to a percentage of people. And if they're showing it to this group of people that weren't gonna do business with you anyway, then what a waste. So be happy that they unfollow you, okay? All right. Mindset's ready. Now let's talk about the 12 strategy steps that I want you to adopt to have a super successful marketing strategy on Instagram in 2019. We're gonna start with your profile. Now, the cool thing about Instagram, your profile does not make or break you like it maybe does on LinkedIn, but there are two things that I wanna make sure you do. First, I want you to optimize it. And how do you do that? You put search terms in your name. So for me, instead of Meredith Callagher, I have Meredith/marketing expert. Brilliant, because that makes me searchable. If someone's looking for a marketing expert, I'll show up at the top because it's in my name, okay? And then you can actually write in your description, just write Meredith Callagher, or your name, in the description. I don't even really have to do that because name of this business account is Meredith Callagher. The other thing I want you to do is, in the description, I want you to say who you serve and how you serve them, who you're helping, and the problem you solve for them. Got it? Good. I did create a whole video about how to create your business profile on Instagram, and I linked it here. Next up, content. I've got a rule of thumb for you on content. On your business account, I want you to talk about 33% education about the field that you do business in, 33% about the lifestyle. Now, the lifestyle that your followers will have if they do business with you. So say you're a dentist, then you're gonna put photos of maybe your customers or whoever, people with pretty smiles leading their best life. You know, maybe they're drinking red wine or drinking coffee because that's a problem with teeth. 33% lifestyle, showing what your customers' life could be like if they worked with you, 33% education, and 33% personal. Now, when I say personal and we're talking about business, if you are a solopreneur, then yes, I mean personal about you. And if you don't want to talk about your children, don't talk about your children. Get personal with your favorite food or where you like to work out or your best friend or your favorite chair at your house. Just personal facts. Now, if you're a brand, let's go back to the dentist office, okay? And say there's 5 dentists in your office and 10 dental assistants or dental hygienists, then you're not gonna show that 33% personal facts about all of them, but it could be every once in a while about each dentist and insight to them, or it could be like what happens behind the scenes in the office, right? That's personal to the business. So just what happens, I don't know, before the door is open or when you leave, or the car that your dentist, you never guessed that he drove a tiny little convertible because he's so serious. Things like that. So your content's gonna be 33% education about the field that you're in, 33% about the lifestyle that your customers could lead when they do business with you, and 33% personal, so they can get to know you. What I want you to think to encompass all that, the theme here is all about your followers, your potential customers. What would they like to know about you? Not what does Meredith Callagher want to tell about the world, right? You with me? So how often should you be posting on your feed? I want you to post 5 or 6 times a week. Basically every day but one. You guys, I know people don't love to hear that, but the more content that you generate in the world, the better, but 1 a day is enough. So we talked about the content, but what should you be posting? Now this gets a little bit tricky, and I went over the perfect post for you in last week's video, because really you will find what you should be posting in your analytics. The easiest type of people to attract to your feed are people very similar to those that are already following you, right? the people that are already following you really love your content. So I want you to use your analytics and look at the top 9 performers, your top 9 best posts, and analyze them and see what people liked about them. Were they pictures? Were they all quotes? This is interesting. I just heard that Gary Vee, that famous marketing coach that has 6 million followers on Instagram, I just heard somebody that works for him say, right now what's working for him really well are memes. But do you know who his audience is? They are primarily 25 to 35-year-old men who find those memes hilarious. And that's great, but my audience, we looked at this last week, is primarily 25 to 55-year-old women who love gorgeous, beautiful photos. To figure out what the perfect post is, I want you to look back at your insights. But I can tell you that beautiful photos, if your audience like photos, then you should always go for as high a quality as possible. So that's my next point. If you're posting photos, they should be high quality. And what does that mean? I want you to look at their brightness, their exposure, how much light that there is, and the colors in them. Are they nice? And y'all, I have a cheat for this. If you're taking photos on your iPhone, first, always use as much natural light as possible, but then there are apps that you can go download and adjust the brightness, the color, and exposure. The one I like best is Lightroom, and we just bought some filters from some photo presets, is what you call them, from the Digi Girls. I mentioned them last week, I'll link them below, so we can get a consistent look on all our beautiful photos. So you with me? So you're gonna post photos or video or a quote, whatever your followers are telling you they like, 5 to 6 times a day, and you're gonna have an awesome caption. Now what does that mean? Again, you need to look at your analytics and see what people are liking, but think of your caption as your hook or as enhancing the story. So an Instagram image tells a story every time you post something, and you can use the words to enhance the story or to hook people in. I find my followers really love long form posts. Maybe they're laughing because I go on and they think that's hilarious, but for whatever reason, my long form posts do really well. And I know that from looking at my analytics. So again, I want you to, when you're deciding what to caption, then look back. And if you can't figure it out, you guys, then just go with short and sweet. Don't let this be a stopper for you. Seriously, your caption, I want you to look at the photo and describe it with 3 words, all right? 3 words that you see in that photo, and just caption with that. That's a starting place. And then see how your audience is responding to that. Now, before we move on to Instagram stories, I want you to take a minute and stop and talk about your feed. That's right. I said at the beginning of this video that we don't live or die by our profile on Instagram, but that's because we have our feed. So people come and check us out to decide if they're going to follow us. They read our profile, and then they look over our feed, and then if a post within the feed looks good, they might click into a few posts, and then they choose to follow or not, right? So you have an opportunity there to have a beautiful feed. There's all kinds of levels of how you can curate your feed. But if you stick to what your followers are telling you you like, I think you'll be in good shape. And if you consistently edit the photos or style the photos with the same brightness, the same exposure, the same colors, if that works for you, the Lightroom app and the presets by the Digi Girls, and there's other people that sell them too, I just love theirs. That can really help you get some consistency on your feed and won't take too much of your time. I manage 2 accounts, and on Meredith Callagher, we have decided to curate the feed by every other post posting a beautiful quote, a word box. So when you look at the feed, it's like a checkerboard: photo, word, quote, photo, word, quote. And that's fun, and that's a way to curate it too. Keep in mind the feed. And y'all, if you use a planning app, I use Planoly and love it. Later is a popular one that might do the same thing. If you plan ahead your posts for the week or for the month, you can look at what it will look like on your feed and move photos around, right? So if you can see, oh, I have 3 in a row of me, and then 5 quotes, and then 4 of my kids, and then 6 of my client, and then you can space them out. So those planning software like Planoly or Later are awesome. I love it. Next, we are going to talk about my favorite part, Instagram stories. So as part of your Instagram strategy in 2019, I want you to always have an Instagram story on your profile. So what does that mean? That means every 24 hours, I want you to post a new Instagram story. Now I told y'all that this is simple and you can follow it, but it's not necessarily easy. I know that's a hard task, but you just gotta start practicing, you guys. The cool thing about Instagram stories is that they go away in 24 hours. It's kind of the crappy thing because you have to do it, that means you have to put a new one up there every 24 hours, but they go away in 24 hours. So this is a place for you to test things out, see what resonates with your followers, to be brave, right? To try things that you might not try on the feed because it might live forever in social media, and really give it a shot. I want you to commit to posting an Instagram story every 24 hours so that the algorithm always keeps you there in your followers' vision, right? So if they've watched your story consistently and you always have something new for them, then you'll be up there. You won't go away. But if you let your stories lag or you wait 3 days, 5 days, then other people are gonna get ahead of you in what they view. So we're gonna post one every 24 hours, and every 24 hours, I want you to tell a story. Seriously, Meredith? Yes, seriously, I really do. Instagram stories are the best place to create engagement with your followers. The best place to turn your followers into customers. And so to do that, the easiest way is to tell your followers a story. Psychologists have proven that we humans love story. I think I say this in every video. And so any opportunity that we have the chance to tell our followers or our leads a good story, then we do it. By the way, I have 3, I think, great videos on how to create Instagram story from the very beginning. If you've never created one before, how to create a great Instagram story. I'm gonna link the video here. But just remember that you wanna have your story to a beginning, a middle, and an end. And a lot of times we can't do that with just one photo. But if you just have one photo to share, turn the camera onto you, set the photo up, like what you were doing and what they're about to see, your audience, then show the photo and then maybe what you learned from that experience, what happened in that experience, how it ended. You don't have to leave the Instagram app. You can use the word slides within Instagram stories. Again, watch my video, I show you how to do that, and write what's happening in that Instagram story. Something I go over in my videos is always caption. If you do turn the camera on yourself, caption what you're saying, because about half of viewers on Instagram stories, as reported by Instagram, listen or watch stories without the volume. So if you will caption your videos, then you won't lose those people. And I know sometimes, I like to talk and I'm like, oh, I have to caption all of that. No, just summarize or say a few words so that at least it's not wasted on those people that aren't listening. Within your Instagram story, and again, I said this in these other videos, but I really want to reiterate because Instagram seems to be loving their little tools right now. I want you to use their stickers. I want you to use in the sticker tab at the top, the question, the poll, the new quiz. You can use the GIFs and emojis, but really these stickers that ask your followers to interact with you. What do we say, right? That is engagement right there. Instagram's made it so easy for us to engage our followers, and that is what they'll get used to, sort of working with you when they are engaging with you all the time, and then they'll be more likely to become your customer. Let's move on to direct messages. Does everybody know where their direct messages are in their Instagram? They're that little paper airplane, if you're looking at your feed, in the top right corner. And you're gonna click on that and you'll see messages that your followers have sent you. Also, there's some hidden messages sometimes. If I'm not following your account and you send me a message, you won't show up in my feed. There'll be this little blue number. I missed a few messages this way. There'll be a little blue number there that you click on it and it will ask if you want to accept that message or not. So just get in the habit of every time going to that airplane, seeing if you have messages, look for the blue number and respond. Engage those followers. I want you in those DMs as often as possible, talking to your followers to turn them into customers. Now I mentioned I had 2 new strategies that we adopted in 2019 that are working really well. And I'm about to give you one of them. One of them is when you're using DMs. When you see that someone new follows you, I want you to send them a DM every time. Send them a DM and record a video message. Hey Vanessa, or even like, hey Paint Red Squares, so glad to meet you here on Instagram. I hope you enjoy the content that I'm providing, and if you have any questions, let me know. Have a good day. That's it. It's that easy. Y'all, it felt so weird at first, but it's awesome. I think that if they were playing the follow and follow game, or even if they were just giving you a chance and their policy was they try an account out for a little while and if they don't like it, they go away. But I connect with them, they see my eyeballs and I talk directly to them, say their account name, then they are more likely not to unfollow me, correct? And if they do, like I said, then they weren't gonna be your customer anyway, so bye-bye. Get on with your bad self, you know? And then it really encourages engagement. This one adorable social media director for a kids store in Aventura, which is a town in Miami, that guy talks to me every day now, which is awesome because I did the little video message and we're best friends, which is so cool because maybe this is on the Scout Guide account. I feel very comfortable now offering him a Scout Guide ad, and we have developed this relationship where he'll probably be likely to buy. So the last point that I want you to adopt in your Instagram marketing strategy in 2019 is going out into the Instagram world and meeting your ideal customers where they are. All right, I want you to go to their accounts and follow them, like them, and comment. Now, you don't always have to follow, okay? That's up to you. But for sure, like and comment their post. And we have adopted here at Team Meredith Callagher the rule that we do that 30 times a day, every day. We comment on, we've identified our ICA, our ideal customer avatar, and we go look for them. How we look is we've identified hashtags that our ICA might use, and we just go and comment. And we adopted this from Gary Vee. I learned this from Gary Vee. Gary has a strategy he calls give $1.80 every day to grow your Instagram. What does that mean? He says that you should give your 2 cents. So not just heart, or nice post, but give your 2 cents about their post 90 times. That's how he got to $1.80. So we met over here at Team Meredith Callagher and we decided that 90 was a little too much to bite off. We weren't ready to commit to that. If you can, fantastic. Seriously, the more the better. But we've committed to 30 comments every day and it's awesome. Remember how I mentioned that this strategy is for, I want you guys to understand, even if you're not going to implement it, I want you to understand it so you can hire somebody else. Well, that's exactly what I've done for my Meredith Callagher account. I hired a friend who's really good at photography and she is in charge. We met, we know that we're gonna post 33% lifestyle, 33% education, 33% personal about me. So we made a plan what that means. She's creating every other post is a word quote. She's doing all the hashtags. She schedules them all in Planoly, and then she marks them as unscheduled. If you're familiar with Planoly, if not, you could do this somewhere else. You could even do it within Instagram. You can put drafts in Instagram, and then me, the business owner, I can approve it and schedule it to post. Cool, huh? But anyway, part of her job is to comment 30 times a day. And I think it's that important. I'm paying her to do so. And she has just been doing it a week and we have grown. We've gained quite a few new followers and gotten tons of comments. So I'll report back to you the actual number. I'm actually doing a little test. On Meredith Callagher, we're doing that. So it's all organic. There's no robots involved. But on TSG Miami, I am ready to hit 10,000 followers, you guys. I am at 8,300 followers. I've always posted basically every day. I love Instagram stories, but it wasn't moving as fast as I wanted it to move. I am ready to get to 10,000 and get that swipe up. I know that's crazy, but it really will be super helpful for me and my job if I can swipe up to, I have 40 clients, right? So if I could swipe up to their website or something that they're offering. So on TSG Miami, I have employed a robot to do that liking and just liking, not commenting. There is a company called Jumper Media, I'll post them below, that I have a real person, I am paying for an account manager who manages a robot that likes, I'm not sure how many posts a day, but likes, so let's say, or even like an hour, 100 posts an hour that are hashtagged with, and they're geotagged Miami because I only want followers really from Miami. And then they're hashtagged on subjects that I think are important to my clients. So this robot goes out and likes hundreds of posts, right? Just like that my paid employee is doing for Meredith Gallagher. And then the people that made those posts that see they're getting likes, they come back and look at the TSG Miami feed, and then a real human decides if they want to follow me or not. I started with Jumper Media about a week ago, and I've already gained 200 followers, which is pretty awesome. And I think it's a great tool if you're willing to pay for it. I really want to caution you though, with TSG Miami, it's sort of a different audience because my ICA is a lot more general than probably yours is. I'm not necessarily selling to all my followers. My ICA is a person who loves to shop local with all different types of businesses and live a luxurious life in the city that they find themselves, right? So that makes me a lot broader. I'm not quite as worried about forming direct relationships with all these people. So I feel comfortable with the robot in those circumstances. If you need to sell $1,000 lamps, for instance, this robot might not be right for you. You might need to use a real person to specifically go find the ideal customer, an ideal group of people that love your lamps and the lifestyle that they can live when they buy that lamp. I know this strategy is gonna work for you. Like I said, I've linked it below. And so print it out and get to work. Remember, you do not have to be the one that implements this. You just have to be the one that understands it so you can hire or find the right person in your office to implement it. And then you can work with them to first put your personality into your strategy and also so you can measure the results. All right, have a good one. Bye.